At the end of the day, we're looking for fulfillment within ourselves and the people around us. The two tricks about living tiny is that you have to be minimalist and you have to clean up after yourself all the time. Kind of opted for this like boutique hotel kind of luxury style feeling. Hey, I'm Yulande. I live here in Pringle Bay and this is my tiny house. Come check it out. Welcome to my kitchen. This is actually like a kitchen sort of dining room area. So I went for like an easy quartz countertop. It's got this stunning sparkle. So whenever the sun shines on it, it like lights up the whole place. And I opted for an induction stove, but I'm actually going to swap this out for a gas stove because we have something called load shedding in South Africa, and that means we don't have electricity for like sometimes hours on end. So yeah, the induction stove looked really nice. I like the smooth look of it, but gas is going to be so much better. I mean, I've got a gas geyser in the shower and for the hot water anyway, so that just works perfectly. I got like a nice shorter fridge so that I didn't have to have this really bulky fridge because it's just me and sometimes some friends visiting. And then I have my microwave, and then I've got all my solar inverter and like my solar system up here in this cabinet. I do have a solar system. I've got 8 panels on the roof, and I've got this like cool app on my phone, so I can see like my usage, and I can see like what, you know, how many hours of life I've got left. I can even turn my lights on and off from my phone. I've got like an app because it's a smart system. So like if I'm going to come home late, I can switch the outside lights on from my app, and that's really useful because, you know, sometimes it's quite dark, like when it's new moon or whatever. And then I've also got like on an app on my phone, I've got like a security camera which is mounted on the outside, and I can even see like what's happening around my spot when I want to. I think the idea about living tiny is definitely you want to be minimalist. So I literally got rid of most of my stuff. I mean, I've got so many drawers in here. Some of them are like for admin, you know, so from like paperwork or whatever. The two tricks about living tiny is that you have to be minimalist and you have to clean up after yourself all the time. So you've got to keep it neat and tidy. You can't get messy. I decided to go for floating shelves because I didn't want it to feel closed in. I didn't really need more storage space. So I've got my glasses and I've got some of my food options. Everything else is underneath, like into my drawers. I like it to be minimalist. So that was something that I opted for, but definitely in tiny home living, I mean, this whole upside area could still be cabinets that gives you so much extra storage. It really just depends how much you've got, how much you want to keep. I don't need so much. Yeah, so moving from the kitchen to the dining room, this is my workspace and it's my dining room, and it's literally where I do like so many things. This table is so easy to move. So I can actually, when I have guests over, I actually move it over to the bed area, and the bed turns into a bench, and I can have like 4 people sitting here. I can also take it outside when it's a really nice day. It's so easy to move. I mean, I toyed with the idea to actually do like drop down tables or to have a fixed table over here. And I just realized that that would limit me because it would be like a built-in thing, or it would be something gimmicky that I would have to change all the time. So I figured this is the best, and actually I've been so happy with it. I opted for these like 3-meter stacking doors because this tiny house is 8 meters long. So basically this kind of opens up almost half of it. And the cool thing is, like, you could even have it like halfway closed. So say it's too sunny, I could just do something like that. And then I've used this really clever glass. It's like a solar shield glass. So it's like 2 layers of glass with a UV film in between. So it gives you this really nice sort of mirror effect, but it also keeps out the UV. So like literally when the doors are closed on me, it's really cool behind the glass. And when the doors are open, it lets all the warmth in. So yeah, because the doors open onto my deck area, I get a lot of like outside space. I can be lying out there tanning or take my chairs out. I've also got like an outside table and chairs that I can put up there, and it literally doubles your space. This is my little wardrobe. I've got a lot of storage under the bed. So I've got these massive storage drawers that open up underneath the bed for like, you know, all my other clothes. But the things I want to hang, I hang up here. And I've got some hooks for my hats and stuff. I can put my shoes at the bottom. I travel a lot, so sometimes I live here and sometimes I'm traveling, so I don't always have that many clothes with me. And I do keep like a storage unit, like an extra storage unit where I keep like my winter clothes away, and then I just swap it for summer clothes. Because yeah, you don't want to have too much stuff in your space. I've been so interested in the whole tiny house movement for many, many, many years. I'm a furniture designer, and I was running like a big company, an online store where we were doing flat pack furniture. Sold it off to an investment company and kind of got sick of the corporate game. I started my exit strategy slowly but surely, and during COVID times, then I started a business that builds tiny homes. This is actually the first one that we built. And so it's mine, and I get to like play with it, and I get to move it around to places. I get to test it out. I know firsthand what works in this house and what doesn't. So when I work with clients as well, I can really help them because I know what it feels like to live there. And I know how important it is to like live in a space that's ergonomically designed. So for me, it's important to have like a space that's 3 meters wide at least. Whereas if it's like a tiny home on wheels like this one is, you need to have as much width as you possibly can, because otherwise it just gives you that feeling of not quite, like something isn't quite right. So this is my bathroom. It's quite a nice big one. Actually, I was amazed at how big it came out. Because I've got quite a high ceiling, it just never ever feels like the heat or the moisture is getting trapped in. I don't feel like I'm squashed. I literally have all the space I need. I've gone for like really nice black finishes. I've even found a black toilet, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's super cool. I've got plenty of space to store my stuff. And like I said, I travel a lot. So when I get back in here, I just put my like toiletry bags and stuff on the shelves. And then I've got like a stunning huge shower, which is spacious enough for 2. And yeah, it's like a nice rain shower. Like I said, I've got a gas geyser. So the gas geyser, the hot water ties in to the shower and the basin. It's instantly hot, and it doesn't matter if it's like very windy or anything, it always kicks up. So that's great. I actually built in a wet wall on the other side of the shower, and I put a grow light in the ceiling. My intention is to put, when I move it next time, I'm putting in like one of those grow bags. So all my herbs and like small veggies and things are going to grow on the wall, because all the moisture from the shower going to go onto there. And if I get enough light and I've got the grow light, then I'll have my herbs ready for cooking. I use the sliding door, which I think most tiny houses use, because you don't want to have a door taking up like 900 millimeters of space in your opening up area. So that also makes a big difference. I mean, you got to think about where you put your windows, right? So everything is like above sort of shoulder height. So I'm covered, and I've got my little corner window that I can open up, and I've put a baboon lock on because yeah, we've got baboons sometimes. And yeah, you really don't want them getting in. So I can safely leave that open if I want to, and I can literally just move around the shower and the bathroom with no problem. This one is a 20 square meter unit, and pretty much we could get this done for like R500,000, which I think is incredible when you think of what you can buy for R500,000. Like in South Africa, you can't buy an apartment for that. You definitely can't buy a house anywhere, really. If you take out financing or something like that, you're not even going to pay that much in rent. And then you've got something which belongs to you. You're not paying it off, or you are paying it off for less than you would be paying in rent. And you're living anywhere you want, in a luxurious lifestyle, like happily ever after, actually, because the thing about a tiny house is you can live in it sometimes and you can travel sometimes. And the more tiny homes you own, the more you can travel between them, and the more you can rent them out, and the more you can fund your lifestyle. So yeah, I'll be setting up like a little collection of tiny houses around the world, and I'll be connecting them digitally on a platform. And it'll be like easy for me to just travel between different places, because I reckon as long as we're in our comfort zone and we're doing the same thing every day, we're not learning anything. So we need to like travel and put ourselves out there and live our lives the way we're meant to. So now we're in the bedroom area. Again, I kind of opted for this like boutique hotel kind of luxury style feeling, because it just makes you feel good. This is a platform bed, and it's actually a storage bed as well. So I've got these huge drawers that run like all the way in, where I can put all my clothes and extra things. So I can even put like extra suitcases behind that because I've got the depth of all the way to the back. I opted for this like window that goes right to the base level and to the ceiling because it just gives you so much more space. You actually feel like you're in this like floating apartment type thing. So I mean, I think everything to do with tiny house design is to make sure that you have a lot of windows, like floor to ceiling windows, a lot of opening up space, and not to box everything in. So now we're in the outside area where I've created like a barbecue space so we could sit here and light a fire. And then you can also see from this angle, you can see that this is a tiny house on wheels. So I've made sure that it's very, very level, like super level. And then, yeah, I literally just connect like the sewer system underneath to what we have here is a conservancy tank that gets pumped by the municipality. And then my electrics run in, my gas is at the back. And my water line runs in as well. So it takes like, every time I move it, I've moved it about 3 times by now. Every time I move it, it takes about 2 or 3 days just to set all of that up again and to make sure that everything's level and that it's working. And then, yeah, I've got like the tow hitch over there and my gas geyser on the front. So, because, you know, for road regulations, you can't go wider than 2.4 meters in South Africa. And I'm not sure what it is in other countries, but each country has like their own regulations. So you've got to like really stick within those parameters. For the outside cladding, so I decided to use like a light steel frame to build on. So it's a solid steel base, and then it's a light steel frame shell, and then it's got like all the insulation inside. And the exterior cladding is something that I'd experimented with for many years, like in houses that I was, like in my own house that I built. So I've used like a roofing material. It's not going to need any maintenance. It comes with like a 15-year warranty. You don't have to paint it. It doesn't rust. It literally just is so durable, and it gives me this sort of contemporary look as well. This material comes like in different colors as well, and I think this was obviously the most common color to go for, but it disappears nicely in the nature. It disappears into the shadows and the greenery, so this is the color that I opted for. I started building these tiny houses as an entrance step to a bigger concept I'm working on, because I think everybody who's interested in this kind of lifestyle is actually also looking at the bigger picture, and they're looking for their tribe, right? And so being able to design and build tiny houses that could be put onto like communities or conscious living spaces where people can live together in a new, more conscious way. So like in a way where we can look after the land and we can eat healthily, we can breathe fresh air, we can drink clean water, we can be happy and less stressed, right? So that changes everything. So that business is called Tiny Home Africa. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's all under Tiny Home Africa. And our website is there as well. We've got pricing and options. And personally, I love working with every single person that comes to me, and I design their house with them with all the passion and knowledge and wisdom that I have. Thanks for watching and for coming with me on my tiny house tour. I'd love it if you keep following us and following the adventures, because yeah, Tiny Home Africa also leads to something called neosphere.org, and that's the lifestyle we're all gonna live. Thanks.